I want to take this time to mention that there's a relative of mine who worked in the art department for this movie. You can see his name during the credits of this and every recent Blumhouse production. His name is Alex Popkin. Yes, indeed, my kin worked for Blumhouse Productions. Happy Death Day to You is the sequel to the surprise hit from just 16 months ago. After living and dying on the same day 11 times, finding out that her roommate was her murderer and taking her out like Jezebel, Tree is now moving on with her life with her boyfriend Carter and exerting her newfound kindness. But a science experiment that some students are working on goes wrong, causing Tree to wake up yet again on the day she just escaped from. She soon realizes, though, that she's also in another dimension, as not everything about Monday the 18th is as she remembers it. The first Happy Death Day was a movie I liked. It was very tongue-in-cheek, and I enjoyed the silliness that it embraced, even though it was never scary. The sequel is very much on the same level. The horror element once again is tired and ineffective, but the morbid sense of humor of the first movie is still there, which is even taken up a notch in this one. Jessica Rothe, again, kills it as Tree. She has excellent timing, and a temper that is hilarious, but it also feels a bit realistic, as she starts off going ballistic when she finds herself living Monday the 18th again, only to later act like death is just becoming second nature to her. And I said it once, and I'll say it again, Jessica Rothe is Blake Lively minus the beauty mark. The thing that surprised me most about this movie is that there are a few unexpected touching moments. They have to do with a certain difference between Monday the 18th as Tree remembers it, and the Monday the 18th that she's living now in this new dimension. A few moments that were strangely emotional for a wacky slasher comedy. Watching this and the first movie back to back does make for a good double feature, primarily because there are a few questions regarding the first movie that the sequel answers, such as why Tree entered the time loop to begin with. But it will also make a few inconsistencies with this one more obvious, one in particular being early in the movie before Tree re-enters the loop, when Carter's roommate Ryan starts having the same experience Tree had. When Tree and Carter realize this, they wonder, who's the killer this time? Laurie's dead and Toombs is dead. Wait a minute, how is Toombs dead? In the first movie, on the last version of the day Tree lived, she defenestrated Laurie early in the day, meaning Laurie wasn't alive that evening to release Toombs, so he would be alive, just still in custody. The writer of the first movie, Scott Lobdell, didn't return to pen this one. It was written by Christopher Landon, the director of both movies, but you'd still have to think that Landon would know the small details of the movie that he was the head of. The main reason the first movie is marginally superior to this one is because the first movie was more focused. The marketing for Happy Death Day to You kept building it up that there was a new killer coming after Tree as well as her friends. Firstly, that new killer is really just coming after Tree again. And secondly, the killer is a side note. The objective is for Tree to get back to her own dimension, and the killer doesn't exactly put that goal in jeopardy. Before seeing this movie, I thought that the killer was going to turn out to be Tree herself. I'll tell you now that it doesn't. In fact, there's something that happens early in the movie that would have made that reveal incredibly easy to anticipate. But that thing that happens early in the movie hardly has anything to do with the overall plot. The only purpose I think it could have is just sequel bait, if even that. So this movie is twice as absurd as the original, which is mostly a good thing, with one exception of a part where it reaches the threshold of just plain ridiculous. It's what happens after that part you see in the trailer where Tree jumps off the plane without any gear. And in this pretty fake-looking slow-mo shot, she happens to land in exactly the right place for a moment of humor while flipping off the camera. It was a gag that seemed more at home in a Deadpool movie. But for all its flaws, Happy Death Day to You is crazy, early-in-the-year fun. It's a small step down from the first movie, but is equally funny and enjoyable, with a few good touching moments. The first movie I gave a 61%, Happy Death Day to You I'm going to give a 58%. By the way, be sure to stick around for a mid-credits scene that sets up a third movie. If they continue the cheesy puns of the sequel numbers, then we all know the third one is going to be called Happy Death Day Tree. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like if you liked, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.